Hey there, Paul Andrews from All Things Chiropractic Podcast. Well, Dr. Davini and I had the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Michael Miller. And last week was part one. And this week is part two of a really interesting conversation with a fascinating guy with a long career. So we hope you enjoy part two of our interview with Dr. Michael Miller. Enjoy.
Welcome to All Things Chiropractic.
So, Doc, I want to ask you a question. Throughout your
Yes.
your career, we've talked about the NFL and the Patriots, and it's amazing. But how did you balance that with your practice? Your practice, in your office and your
It's
regular
to the point
patients.
when I did what I did with the Patriots, it was a 7-day-a-week work week for
Wow,
38 years.
wow.
So I didn't even have an afternoon off. My one afternoon off during the week was on a Wednesday. But when people would assume I'd be in the golf course, it's like, "You go golfing on your afternoon off?" It's like, "No, I go to the stadium." And it was never a set time. It could be, let's say, 1 to 3.
Yeah.
The trainer would call me sometimes at quarter to 12 and say, "Doc, coach is keeping the guys out on the field longer today because they're not getting the results he wanted. So can you come at 2:30 to 4:30?" So I'd have to keep shifting all my own personal plans for that day. And then I'd work in my office. Even on a Saturday, I was working still then on Saturdays. I'd work until 12. And when I'd leave my office, I'd go directly from my office, drive to the stadium, to the buses waiting to go to TF Green Airport to fly out to where we're going. And Bill would say, "When you're in the bus, let me know, and then we'll tell the buses they can leave." So everyone waited for me to get onto the bus. And, we'd come home sometimes on a Sunday game, 3, 4 in the morning. I was back in my office at 9 o'clock the same day. So it was hectic.
So,
You
To say
know,
the least, yes.
at one point you say you got nothing else but you're living chiropractic.
yeah.
Morning, noon, and night. You never had time to yourself.
So
And
the
you'd
private
go, I could be
practice continued. I mean, you still had
oh
the
yeah, I've
private
got my
practice the
private
whole
practice
time.
going.
Yeah.
And in
And
the
your son's
beginning,
with you
in the
now?
early
Yeah.
yes, he's been with me now for 10 years already. Yeah.
Wow.
But in the beginning, you would go into your office and a lot of the players would come to the office or the trainers would send them in a van. It could be 12 o'clock and I'm ready for lunch. And they'd call and say, "Can I send one or two of the players? They're having some issues." It's like, send them down at the end of my morning.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I come out, there'd be 8 people sitting there. It's like, "What are all you guys doing? You doing something after?" They said, "No, we're here to see you."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, brother." They didn't tell me
So
8
much for
people would come.
lunch.
So
Yeah.
anytime the trainer said 1 or 2, I said, "Is there a number behind the 1,
Yeah.
like a 2 or a 0?" It's never one person.
I
So
love it.
I would be eat up my lunch and then swallow something down next door and then go back to work again.
Nice to be wanted though, right?
The
Yeah. Well,
play the,
it's a wonderful story, and I think I'm so happy
uh,
you've done this
I had a
podcast with
good
us
time
'cause
doing it. The
people
one
need to
one
hear
thing I
that.
found strange
Yeah.
is when I left the team and retired from them, I never missed it. I missed the camaraderie and the relationship with the people there, but I didn't miss the work
Well, of
and the
course, yeah.
So that's the question I have, Doc. What have you been doing with all this extra time now?
responsibility.
Right? Because you're not 7
I'm
days a
working
week.
now 3.5 days a week, and at the end of Thursday nights, it feels like I've been bad because the older you get, you don't have the stamina you used to have.
Right.
Exactly.
And my son will say to me, "Well, I have to work Friday all day while you're off at the beach or something." It's not
How
fair to
dare
me. It's
you?
Oh,
when you're in practice for
Yeah.
47 years, or maybe 1 or 2 of your sons wants to join your practice, he says, "I would never let my sons do this. It's torture to someone. You have no time to yourself here."
Yeah, I mean,
It's
7 days a
funny.
week
That
for
generation
yeah.
likes to see a balance
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
family life and practice. My generation felt that you need to work, and this is how you help your future generations and your own children,
sometimes
aspire to
I'd like
do
to
things.
think we were a little bit more mission-oriented,
I think so.
purpose-oriented,
And
so
maybe
but
more
that's
money
another
oriented
podcast.
too.
That's a
So
whole other
how many
podcast.
times have you been hit up for tickets over the years?
People would come, especially during a Super Bowl, people would come
Wow.
out of the woodwork. People I
Right.
hadn't heard from in 10 years. Like, "Doc, you think you could just get me 4
Oh,
tickets
sure.
with
Right.
my
No.
wife and my 2 kids?
Just
I've never
4.
been to a
Yeah.
Super Bowl," right? And one thing with this team, some teams were very generous with Super Bowl tickets. You
Yeah.
could buy them over the ones they would allot you. Like, the players get 10 tickets apiece, and they don't give them 10 good seats, they give them 2 good seats, and the
Right.
rest are in the nosebleeds, so they have to say, "Am I gonna put my parents up there, my girlfriend, my wife? Who's gonna sit in the good seats?" So they'd get mad when they'd
Mm.
get their bundle of tickets. Like, we should have all good seats. Why are other people who have nothing to do with this team getting seats much better than we have? But people would always ask for favors. During the years when patients would ask, "Can you get me tickets to this game?" or "On the road, can you get me tickets?" I had a good rapport with the ticket managers, so I would call and say, "You gotta get me 6 tickets for someone," and they charge my account, and then, we would accommodate
Oh,
people as
sure.
best we could.
Now you tell
The
me this.
Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I coulda got you, see? Even now, if you want
Now
to, I
I
can always
know.
call the ticket man.
The question is,
But with the
Mike,
Super Bowl tickets, they didn't like to budge, especially
I
the
don't blame
craft
them.
the question
people,
is, Mike,
because
was it always, I'll give you the tickets, but at some point I'm gonna come to you and ask you for a favor, and you can't tell me no. Well, I don't know what that favor is gonna be someday."
Someday, someday I'm gonna
I
come to
will
you
tell you
with a
things, no matter
favor.
how many times I've done friends favors, I can't count on one hand the amount of times they've reciprocated
Yeah, right,
back.
exactly.
We're gonna send this
At that
podcast to
point,
Where are they
I
now?
never I never looked at it, what am I gonna get from someone else? It's like, if I could do a favor, I'll tell you one interesting story that happened once, though. A patient of mine, right before the Super Bowl on the AFC Championship game that was played in Foxborough, said, "My son, who's 13, has never been to a game. Is it possible? Can you possibly get us 2 good seats?" So I called the ticket manager, and he was very accommodating. He said, "I can get you 2 right on the 45-yard line, 10 rows from the field." I said, "That would be
Wow.
perfect." I said, "This is for a good friend of mine." So he got the tickets, and they're not the championship games, and those at the end of the season, the prices are dictated by the NFL, so they're much lower than what the Patriots tickets would be during the year, which is unusual. But they might have been 150 apiece. So I called him. I said, "I've got your tickets. They're $300. I'll pick them up at your office." I said, "Okay." A day before the game, I get a call from the ticket manager. "Hi, doc. This is so and so." I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" He says, "We got a problem here."
Oh,
I
no.
said, "What kind of problem?" He says, "Apparently, your tickets went on Craigslist for $5,000.
Oh, no.
As an
Oh my
employee of the team,
God.
you're not allowed to resell them."
Right.
I said, "I never resold anything. This went to a patient of mine that I did a favor to."
Yeah.
So he says, "Well, I
Wow.
have to notify ownership about this because it's a serious infraction." It's like, "Well, you can notify them all you want, but I had nothing to do with it." He says,
Right.
"Well, I just wanna let you know the tickets have been canceled."
Yeah.
So I called the
Wow.
patient and I said, "You know what?" I said, "I have something to take up with you because I did you a favor as a good deed so your son could enjoy a game, and
Yeah.
they found out your tickets were put on Craigslist." He goes, "Well, I only did that to show him how much I could get for the tickets,
Yeah,
but I didn't
right.
intend to
Right.
sell them." I said,
Yeah.
"Well, let me tell you something. Neither one of you are going to the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's been canceled." "Well, what about the money I paid you?" It's like, "I don't know if they'll even give me back the money. If
Yeah.
they do, I'll be more than happy to reimburse you, but if they don't, it's your loss for doing what you did." And I talked to
Yeah.
Kraft after,
That's a
and he
great
said,
story.
yeah,
That's a
he
great
says, "I'll
and a
tell you
good
what,
lesson, and a
they
good
gave me
lesson,
back
so,
the
yeah,
money and I gave him his money." But it
nice.
was just embarrassing because you try to do
Yeah.
something good for someone and it backfired.
Right.
Wow.
Did he come into the office the next week for an adjustment or no?
He came in the office
No way.
the following year and still asked me for more tickets. I said, "I have
What?
no more connections with tickets anymore,
At
The
least
especially
from
after
you.
Super Bowl."
boldness. Oh my
My
gosh.
God.
How did you not throw him out of your office?
Mm.
I was ready to bop him off the head. It was like, this
Yeah.
is a time, it's like, how much force does it
That's
take to
awful.
Yeah.
disconnect the head from the shoulder?
Yeah, right. Wow. Well,
Well,
doc.
we could
Wow.
definitely do this all day, but, We can't.
Yeah.
We
Amazing.
appreciate
Really,
Thank you.
yeah, we really appreciate you sharing your experience, all
Very
your
interesting
stories, your
stories. Yeah.
time. I know this is gonna
You
be
know,
a special one.
I did write a chapter for a neurosurgical textbook.
Oh.
My last few years in the team, I was approached by the head of neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins, and he was putting a book together. He said, "Your name came about through the NFL Players Association as an expert on chiropractic and the spine. We'd like a chapter to educate medical doctors as to what a chiropractor does, the techniques you use, what the sound effect is of, the manipulation. And we picked you." And I said, "You picked the wrong person because I'm not an author. I haven't written anything before in the past." He says, "Well, we don't want anyone else but you. So we'll give you all the parameters. It can be 20, 30 pages, but just so that they understand what you do and how you go about doing things as far as
Nice.
differentially diagnosing things and so forth." So I got into the book, and 6 months after that, it got the highest reception from medical doctors that were reading it, and I got another call from another neurosurgeon at University of Michigan, and he said, "Would I be able to reduplicate your chapter in my new textbook?" And I said, "I really don't know. The publishers out of Germany, you'd
Mm.
have to check with them. I don't know how it
Right.
works."
Right.
But they okayed it, so now I'm in 2.
And
Well,
now the
that's good. What
royalty
are the
checks are
titles?
flowing,
Do
right?
do you have the references so
And
we
I
can all
and I
go
got
out and get
nothing
one?
for it.
Yeah.
Nothing other than a hard copy of it.
Uh,
Nice.
and the prestige of being, a co-author in a book, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Another neurosurgeon, right? Then those are the ones that said to be a chiropractor. Now they're coming back to you
right,
for
those are the
for
ones that for
for
some reason
chapters.
the only specialty I found through my career that is more anti-chiropractic, a neurologist.
Yeah.
Interesting, huh?
And I think it's because they feel that you're going into their territory and you're taking patients away from them.
Well, you're doing it
It's more
better,
of a
so
financial
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
you
that's
actually
how they
helped
look
them.
at it.
Yeah. I
yeah.
think that I
Right.
think they're afraid because you actually helped them, so
And
Mm.
I've had panels with neurologists talk to me and they said, "We wanna do one thing with chiropractors. We want them to get referrals from medical doctors, and that's how you get your patients. We don't want patients coming in off the street to see a chiropractor." I said, "Well, you can kiss that idea goodbye. It will never happen.
Yeah.
It's not happening."
Yeah.
So,
Ex
yeah.
Good for
years
you.
ago
What an advocate you've
years
been.
ago, I don't know if you understand why the medical profession developed the specialty of physiatry.
Tell us.
A physiatrist was a medical doctor who could perform manipulation. So they felt that they had a medical doctor who could do what a chiropractor does, there'd be no need for chiropractic.
Right.
But when
After
these
spending a
people would
lifetime
train
getting rid of osteopaths. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
but these people, osteopaths went under the
Yeah.
wing of the AMA, so they were
Right.
able to do more if they did that, and the chiropractors didn't wanna do that, they wanted their autonomy. But when they did this, it was a method to wipe us out. But instead, most physiatrists align themselves with chiropractors because they believe in the significance of manipulation and what it
Right.
does. They felt that you spent more hours studying it and practicing it, so they felt you were more comfortable to perform it.
Yeah. You're
So it
actually better
backfired,
at
and
it.
now
Yeah.
not too many physicians are going into physiatry. It's dying out. But it was meant to take the profession and toss chiropractic
That's
to the wind.
interesting, huh?
Well,
Interesting.
that didn't work, thankfully.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Good for
so
them.
we're
Well,
still here and strong.
There you
I
go.
have to say, Doc, you certainly have demonstrated that you've been a real advocate for the profession over the years and the niches that you've belonged in, and
Right.
And an asset.
that's important. I'm not sure we see a lot of that in the young ones, but certainly it's important to continue that so that the profession does not die out or fade away.
I speak to a lot of young doctors when we go to these different seminars and so forth, and they all wanna know how much you can make, what your income it's like, don't think about things like that. If you help people and you promote chiropractic and you do what you're trained to do, it will come automatically. You'll get the referrals and so forth. When I was inducted into the Pro Football Chiropractic Hall of Fame in 2018, and I had to do a 45-minute speech, which was more intimidating to me than anything ever before. Because
In
there
front of
was
how many?
1,000 people at the auditorium.
How many?
1,000 in the
Wow.
auditorium
All
from
right.
every 32 teams in the league. And I likened my practice to an entertainment venue. And I said, I'm the entertainer and my patients are the audience. So either they like the show you put on, the entertainment, which basically translates to different results you get with them,
Right.
or they have an opportunity to go to many other shows closer to where they live. And if they like your show, they're going to send other people to the show, which is your referral basis. So it
Was
went on and on like
was
that.
there a
But at
2-drink
the
minimum at
end,
your show, Doc?
I had people coming up to me and say, "You don't really look at your practice as entertainment, do you?" I
Yeah.
said, "Yes, it's a symbiotic relationship you have with your patient, and I like to tell stories when I'm with my patients of things that have happened." And they said, "Boy, you can talk." I said, "There's a method to the madness. The stories aren't just to talk to these patients; it's a method of distraction, so they don't think about what you're doing, and you can get in there and do what you have to do."
Oh, I thought you were gonna
So
say so they don't think about what they're paying at the front desk, but
no, we're
I
pretty,
kid. I
lenient
jest.
on like that. Yeah.
Right. But it's interesting, like, through the years, and I've known you a number of years now, whatever, and, eh, for the most part, all that you've just told us and all that we just went through, I have not heard. You're a very quiet man
No,
when it comes to those things, and I'm
I'm
honest
not
about
one of
that, and
these
it's nice
provocative
that we get a
speakers.
chance to
You
bring
know,
this out.
you and Paul enjoy speaking. It's natural to you. To me, it invokes anxiety sometimes,
Oh,
so
Anxiety from a
because
guy who's adjusting 350-pound athletes, I love it.
that's
right.
funny.
But I'm glad
Wow.
that we had this opportunity to bring this out because really, I didn't know 80% of what you said today. And it's
Really?
exciting because it's big stuff. I hope all the young doctors are listening to this saying, look, pay attention to what you do, get good at what you do. The rest
Right.
follows.
And
That's it. We
advocate for
always
what
tell
you
them
do, you
if
know?
they can learn one thing from us, even with extremity adjustments, anything, one thing that you can go back to your office on Monday, do successfully is going to bring you more success. But I had a doctor once and he said to me, I do it opposite what you do. I go from the opposite side. I do this. It's like, well, doctor, you're doing it incorrectly. If any of my peers that have been in practice observed you, they would say it's incorrect. It wouldn't go well with you if they saw what you were doing. They said, well, my patients still get well. And I said to them, they get well in spite of you, not because of you. That's a different thing.
You guys still
So
friends?
fi-
Yeah,
finally started to listen a little bit.
Yeah.
I
But,
love it.
that generation feels that they know more than you, and when I try to teach some of these doctors, they'll sometimes say, "Doctor, you're talking to us like we're students. We're doctors just like you, so we're not a student anymore. You don't have to talk down to us." I said, "I'm not talking down, but when you're in my class, you're a student of mine. If you don't wanna be, you don't have to stay here." But,
Right
Exactly.
I've
on.
had a good time, a good run with it, and, anytime a patient compliments you or sends you a card or a statement they write about you, it makes me feel good.
Or a Super Bowl ring or two.
Right.
Yeah, a couple of those.
They cut you in
Those
on
are
the
good.
Craigslist money on those tickets, right?
My son looked into how much someone would pay for all 11 rings, and someone from Vegas offered a couple of $1,000,000 for it. He says, "Dad, you could sell some of these. You're never gonna wear them all. What did" I said, "No, no, no. Those are not things I would sell if they offered me $10,000,000.
Look at
There's
you.
blood, sweat,
Look
and
at
tears that went into each and every one of them, and they're meaningful to me.
yeah.
So it's my history that I will not part with
But
until
he hasn't made that same promise, has he?
Yeah.
no. Well,
Put it in
he's
the
with the
will.
Revolution. He's with the New England Revolution, but they so far have not come to any big championships yet.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
Well, after
hoping
the
for his
FIFA, I
sake
think
that
soccer's really made a revival in this country
soccer
as
did
a
make it revive.
yeah. So, well, Doc,
Yes.
this has been
Yes.
amazing. I'm
Thank
speechless
you, Paul.
because there's been so much wonderful, good stuff, not just with the stories,
Absolutely.
but with your passion and your advocacy for the profession. I think it really is a great example for everyone out there. So thanks again for being with
Thank
us,
you.
Dr. Michael Miller. We appreciate you
It's
so
my
much.
pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again for listening to another episode of All Things Chiropractic. I'm Paul Andrews.
I'm Dr. Mark Davini. Thank you all.
Thanks for listening to All Things Chiropractic. We'd love to hear from you. Visit allthingschiropractic.com with comments, episode ideas, or questions. Or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at All Things Chiropractic Podcast. Be sure to join Dr. Mark Davini and Paul Andrews next time for another episode of All Things Chiropractic.